Hey guys, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
How's it going?
Just hanging and kicking it.
Missed you on our last episode. I had to bring in our daughter Bella
Yeah, because
to talk about Krampus.
I've been stuck at work.
I know. We put out a little mini episode. It was about Krampus, paganism, some of the origins of what we celebrate now, like as Christmas, but how it's rooted in a lot of like pagan activity and ritual.
Yeah, a lot of that's very interesting, the symbolism and such.
It was a short episode, but I think it was interesting. Maybe give folks a little something to listen to on the drive to work, maybe while they're on the treadmill.
Yeah, and they'll have some interesting little facts to drop here at the Yule time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good to have you back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm glad you have a quick few minutes to sit down and record the podcast with me.
Yeah, and you have a really interesting story.
I think it's very interesting. I mean, this is definitely a fascinating Appalachian true crime story for sure.
That's what we do.
Let's give a shout out to Karen. She's our brand new patron.
Thanks, Karen.
You can join us on Patreon for as low as, $1 a month is our lowest level.
Yeah, you can literally find it in your couch.
You're going to get all kinds of bonus material, extra episodes.
Yes, we do a lot of cool stuff over there on Patreon.
And moving into the new year, we have some ideas to make Patreon even better.
Yes, it keeps growing and changing.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to our friends at Marriage is a Scream podcast. They've given us a couple of shout outs. I have to say I've given them a listen. They're a paranormal podcast. They discuss haunted houses, true crime, urban legends. As we know, couples that podcast together are awesome.
Yes, I'm going to listen to them tonight when I go back to work.
They're a married couple. They podcast, and they've got some interesting stuff. So if you are trying to find a good podcast, I'm going to recommend Marriage is a Scream.
Wow, I'm going to try them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds really cool.
Are you ready to get started, Dylan?
I am. Let's dive in head first.
Okay. We're going to be talking about a case that takes place in Shepherdsville, Kentucky.
That sounds like a really awesome little town.
A small community in a remote area. Much like where we live, generations of the same families living there for hundreds of years.
Yeah, those typically end up with a really tight, community where people help each other and everyone knows everybody.
Well, where we live, we've seen a lot of that, but now we're getting influx of, different people from outside moving in.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it does. So our dynamic here has changed a bit, but the town I grew up in was very much the same families, including mine. My family, been here for 200 plus years. Everybody knows everybody, which is good and bad because then everybody knows your business.
They're all up in your beeswax.
But everybody knows your business, so when you need help, people are there to lend a helping hand.
Yeah, that's a true definition of community, I think, when they rally around each other.
And this is one of those rural, tight-knit communities. Jessica Dawn Dishon was born to a teenage mother. Edna was only 17 when her daughter was born. Jessica was a good girl who enjoyed going hunting with her dad. She was a big sister to two little brothers, Christopher and Bubs, but I think his real name was Michael, both which she was fiercely protective of.
All right, big sis.
Loving, very protective of the little brothers. And she was a student at Bullitt Central High School.
Oh, wow. I bet they had an awesome mascot.
Our story takes place in Bullitt County, Kentucky. So Bullitt Central High School. Jessica was also a hard worker who bought a red Pontiac car with money she had earned while working at the local fast food chain Hardee's. Jessica aspired to study culinary arts, often cooking for her family. Later, her little brother would say she would make meals for the family, was always cooking for everybody, even if it wasn't that great.
Oh, but she's trying. She's learning.
That, they would eat her food even if they didn't like it.
Huh.
They were just trying to make her feel better.
Well, that's sweet.
And she was passionate about food.
Yeah, you can't. Hey, that's what I tell mine when I try to teach them how to cook. If you don't mess it up, you're not trying.
Is that so?
Yeah.
I love cooking. You enjoy cooking.
Oh, yeah, but you're not just a good cook instantly.
No, it's something that you have to learn.
Yes, ma'am.
How to do. On September 10th, 1999.
Oh, okay.
So this story takes place a while ago.
Yeah, but still fairly recent.
Jessica disappeared from her bed. Her family had gone about their usual routines, allowing the 16-year-old girl to sleep in a bit. Her mom usually got up around 5:30 a.m., got ready, went into work. Her father woke up, was getting ready for work. He would usually get the two younger kids up. They would catch the school bus. He would head off to work as well. Jessica would typically wake up maybe around 6:30 or so to get ready for school. She was driving. She'd see herself off to the local high school with her own car. She didn't take a bus. She was kind of on her own in the mornings. Her mother had gone grocery shopping after work, and when she returns home, she finds the house empty. However, Jessica's car is parked in the driveway, and her mother finds that to be unusual.
Yeah, because they got their usual schedule and everybody's off and she works, school.
This is around 1:30 p.m. Edna calls her husband to ask if he'd happened to give Jessica a ride to school. He says no, and then Edna asks if the car is working. Is it running? Is everything okay with the car? Because she's baffled that it's still in the driveway. Her mom takes a key upon, her husband suggests, well, why don't you go start it up and see? Like, maybe it won't crank and we'll know. Maybe she got a ride with a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to come up with a reason why the car is there. So mom takes the key out, opens the car door. She is alarmed when she discovers Jessica's purse, one shoe, her work clothes, school backpack, and her cell phone.
Oh my God.
In the front passenger seat of the vehicle. When mom picks up the cell phone and flips it open, it's one of those old school flip phones, 9-1 has been entered into the phone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now she's totally freaked out. That would freak anyone out.
She's very freaked out. So when Mike comes home, Edna tells her husband that something is wrong. The cell phone with the 9-1 makes them believe their daughter is in trouble.
Obviously, how could it not?
Now, Edna freaking out, I mean, we as parents, we know what she had to be feeling.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, we have 2 teenage daughters and I have an older daughter. If I find their phone and they're not in the house with it, I would freak out, let alone all that.
Edna calls the school and learns that her daughter was absent. They phone Jessica's friends, her job, but no one has seen nor heard from the girl. She and her husband go to the sheriff's department to file a report, but are told by deputies that she's probably a runaway.
That shit right there. I mean, I know kids run away, but that happens over and over in these stories. And they're losing critical moments and hours.
Exactly, and that will come into play. Mike explains that his daughter is not the type of kid who would run away, especially without taking her cell phone.
Her purse.
Or her purse.
Yeah.
Which most ladies know that's the one thing you take with you when you leave the house.
Or her other shoe. I mean, what the hell?
Exactly. Plus her car is left behind.
I just don't...
Now, this is a car. This girl has worked a long time to save money and buy this car. This car is like her pride and joy.
Yeah, of course.
This red Pontiac. She's not going to just run away and leave her car in the driveway.
Yeah, you're going to drive yourself somewhere. I mean, if you go up to any kind of a cop, decent cop, and explain this very scenario, and for them to say, well, probably run away. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me?
Law enforcement sent the family home and told them that if Jessica didn't return by the next morning, they could come back to the station.
All right.
The Dishons were incredibly worried. Their daughter was missing and no one was offering help. A deputy named David Greenwell did come to the Dishon home and he felt the scene was alarming. He alerted a senior officer about the situation. The guy twice refused to come out to the Dishon home, saying that she was probably just a runaway and he wasn't going to get involved. They had to wait till the next day.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I guess they did. They must get runaways all the time because they always think that way. So I don't know.
The next morning after Jessica's disappearance, the Dishons explained that their daughter had not returned home yet to law enforcement. A few officers were dispatched again to the house. Jessica's car was searched by these 2 officers, but without gloves.
So they're messing the scene. They're contaminating the scene.
They didn't take any fingerprints from the vehicle. They're just kind of poking around inside. Then they drive back to Shepherdsville, leaving the Dishon family with questions.
Wow.
During this time, the Dishon family makes a few television appearances, pleading for information or the safe return of their daughter.
I'd be sick.
But no one seems to know where the girl is. The community begins a search effort. Mike's brother, Stanley, suggested that Jessica's body might be in the river bottoms. Locals knew that if anything shady or sinister had happened, it usually happened in this area of town.
Okay.
This is where, all the bad things happen.
Right.
I guess. So, although it was difficult for the family, they knew they had to search for Jessica. As a family member, you don't want to be the one that finds your kid. but you know you've got to be out there searching.
Well, yeah, I think once that settles in that they really are gone and you don't know where they're at, I think there's like this inherent need to just find them, even if it is their body.
Just to be doing something.
Just to be trying.
To be occupied.
Yes, because I mean,
if you just sit there with your thoughts,
I'd go crazy.
You would. Well, during the search, Stanley, Jessica's uncle, gets really sick and has to be taken home. Like, he just starts throwing up, not feeling well, so they got to get him out of there. Relatives, neighbors, and friends comb the area kind of surrounding the Dishon's home, hoping to find a clue leading to Jessica. The search proves fruitless. Jessica is still missing. A few days after Jessica's disappearance, her family had come in from searching one afternoon. Chris Dishon, Jessica's younger brother, goes outside to feed the dogs when he runs in the home and tells the parents he thinks he hears Jessica screaming, "Help me."
Wow, geez.
Mike, her dad, he is just freaking out. He grabs a gun, rushes outside to see if he could help find his daughter. Just as he's running out with this gun and his younger son, Stanley, his brother, is standing in the driveway having just pulled up in his vehicle. Mike, Stanley, and Chris climb up a hill leading up to the neighbor's property where they see someone burning what looks to be like a pile of clothes.
Whoa, that's weird.
The Dishon and Brooks property kind of adjoins. Bucky Brooks, the neighbor, refused to allow Mike to search his family's farm. During this entire search for Jessica, when the entire community is out trying to help, the Brooks were the only members unwilling to have their land searched.
Okay, well, that's a red flag, it seems.
So as they approach, they see Bucky with what looks to be like this burn pile with some clothes or something in it. Of course, Mike's got a gun. Bucky's like, "Oh, don't shoot me, I'm just up here burning some stuff."
Just burning some clothes.
Immediately, Mike phones the police. Police ask what Jessica was wearing when she disappeared, which was like a pair of pink shorts. That was the last thing they'd seen her in. That was what she had been sleeping in the night before. They bring out some canines to search the property, including Bucky Brooks' field, his barn, and garage. Now, during the barn search, Bucky was acting very strangely.
And his name's Bucky.
The cadaver dogs immediately went over to the fire pit on the property. Officers find 2 pair of jersey gloves, both showing a scent of like decomposing body.
Oh, wow.
And the dogs are immediately, finding these gloves.
Yeah.
They're tipping these officers off that this is an unusual thing.
Yeah.
They didn't arrest this Brooks guy initially. Mike Dishon contacted the FBI and he invited them to assist with the case. Apparently, if local law enforcement doesn't bring on the FBI, they won't come out and help. But if you're a family member and you contact them, they will assist.
I did not know that.
Because you're like inviting them to assist.
Yeah, that's what they always need, an opening to come in.
So the FBI went to Jessica's room. When they arrive, they took some evidence, looked for fingerprints. Eventually, they combed Jessica's car for forensics, actually taking the car into their possession.
Oh, yeah, they're going to test it out all kinds of ways.
The FBI brought in a helicopter to search the area. Another search was performed on the Brooks farm. A picture of Jessica was found in the Brooks barn. Bucky Brooks becomes the prime suspect, but law enforcement still does not know the location of Jessica. We're talking, this is some days passing. 17 days after Jessica had gone missing, a woman was driving through the area known as the River Bottoms. She saw something propped up against a tree in the distance. Believing it is a body, she calls police. FBI and their forensic team show up on the scene to find this badly decomposed body.
Oh, my God.
The body is missing a limb. It was not specific about what limb. It just said a limb. And several fingers are missing.
Ugh.
It appeared to be the body of Jessica. Mike says there's no way he can go identify the body. He's like, "I cannot go. If this is my daughter, I can't see her like this." So nobody. Edna goes to identify her daughter's body. Her face was almost unrecognizable, but her mom is able to identify Jessica by a butterfly tattoo.
Having that image seared in your brain as the last image of your child, I don't know. I don't know if I could live with that.
The medical examiner determines the cause of death to be strangulation. She has